right? And that's nothing but a prompt engineering. And in case, I mean to say, this prompt engineering also helpful in the cloud because this prompt engineering is in context of the AWS, Amazon Web Services, which is one of the cloud provider. And I'm also going to discuss about something and also give you one task as well so that you can also perform the practice on the prompt engineering. Because now, as you know that this prompting is a part of our daily jobs, right? So whenever the ones the chat GPT and Perplexity, Gemini, these come to the picture, we heavily rely on the prompt. But let's understand few techniques about the prompt, how exactly you can generate these, okay, effectively. So that I'm going to explain in this next 1 hour session. And if it is required, we can also have some another session as well. So before start, let me introduce myself. My name is Ameya Vaidya. So basically, I born and brought up in Nashik in Maharashtra, and currently I'm earning in Pune. So I have a more than 16 years of experience in the industries. So I started my journey with the security, right? Then moved to the DevOps, okay, and then I moved to the DevSecOps, and now I'm also working on the some AI services, which is in cloud, that is in AWS, Azure, GCP as well. So my job role is to implement the different services on a different cloud vendor like an AWS, Azure, GCP. And obviously, I'm also working on some of the AI as well, some models, okay, where or the foundation model where I train those model as well. So, and here you can see this is my QR code. If you want, you can connect me on LinkedIn as well, right? I'm also a speaker. I travel a lot, okay, in a different summits, in different the community days as well. So recently, also, okay, I was in Jaipur where I discuss about the no code. Now, for an example, when I say no code, it means most of the people or people like me, they hate no, developing the product or the debugging and everything. So here, let's say if I want to generate some code or create some code, and if I don't have any knowledge about this specific technology, so AWS has an option that's called Amazon Canvas, from where you can also use drag and drop, and you can it generate the code. So that called we called it no code. Okay, machine learning no code. So folks, okay, so today, okay, in next hour, okay, specifically, I'm going to discuss about the same, right? So yes, okay, Vaishnavi, no matter from where exactly you are, okay, in which technology or which stream, as you know that this AI, ML, GenAI is now it become the part of our life. We are in the era of AI and ML, right? So you must need to understand, okay, these techniques. Obviously, if your job is non-technical, that's okay. You don't need to deep dive it, but to understand AI for everyone, right? No matter, okay, whether you are in which field, at least you have some information about the AI. And I'm not say that future is AI. Future is something different. At the moment, present is in AI. So now, folks, I'm going to discuss about these things. Okay. Now you will also, okay, I mean to say here, you can see there are different things. So I'm going to explain about what exactly the value of prompt engineering, what exactly the structure of LLM, that is large language model, what exactly the different techniques, right, that you can use it. Whenever I say techniques, it means how exactly you can interact with the model, right? How exactly you get a right answer. And I'm also going to explain some of the AWS service, one of the familiar and one of the top service for the AI and ML GenAI, that is Bedrock. So how this prompt engineering work there. So that also I'm going to explain and also going to give some activities as well. Now, folks, let's understand the prompt engineering, right? So now, folks, if I ask you, right, if I ask you to everyone, what do you think? What is a prompt engineering for you in one line, in one word? What exactly it is? So no matter whether it is technical answer or non-technical, you can just give me your thought. I just want to know your thought. In one line, what do you think? What exactly this prompt engineering is? Come on, folks. I'm waiting for your answer. You can.
Providing inputs
Mhm, mhm.
and
Okay. Provide inputs. Okay. You can, if you don't want to speak, you can also type in chat as well. What do you think? What is in one liner? What is the prompt engineering for you? Anything, whatever you think about this in chat, or you can speak as well. Come on, folks. I'm waiting for your answer. Suggest to intelligent intern, provide input for desired expected output. Okay. Any other things, folks? Anything? What do you think? What exactly this prompt engineering for you in one line? Okay. So now, folks, if we talk about the prompt engineering, now let me give you the one example. Now let's say you're the part of entire security team. Okay, for your organization, you are leading the organization, and now let's suppose, okay, you need to configure, let's say for example, firewall. Okay, where you are going to configure the web security. And now let's assume that, okay, you want to block some porn website. Now you go to the, okay, chat GPT and I'll say that, hey, can you please tell me top 10, okay, porn website for me. So obviously it is not an ethical, so you might not get the answer. But now instead of that, please provide me the top 10 porn website. So instead of that, you provide the prompt that I'm the, okay, the security person. I'm going to configure the firewall. Let's say you mentioned that is, let's say it's a Cisco firewall. And for that, I'm going to configure web security, right? And I want to restrict the porn website. Please provide me those websites so that I can add it into my firewall rules. So now here, the context is changed, scenario is completely changed, and you might receive the correct answer that you can block the such kind of websites, right? So it means what? If you just ask that, okay, please provide me this, so it might not get actual information, but you give the context that who exactly you are, right? Who exactly your customer and what exactly you want, then you might receive the correct response. That's nothing but a prompt engineering is, right? Understood, folks? In simple language, you can just give me a thumbs up if you understand, or you can chat anything, or you can say yes, anything. Everyone, just give me a thumbs up if you agree with me or you understand, or you can also type on the chat anything, folks. Can I expect your reply? Other members, thank you, Afroz. Okay. Now, when we talk about well-designed prompt lead to better outputs. Now, whenever you are giving a prompt, so your prompt is like set of instruction that you give to your AI model to guide how it respond. It means whenever your prompt is clear and well, okay, thought out, it can bring a many benefits. So for an example here, you will also get a better result. It means if you give the model clear and specific instruction, it can give a more accurate, useful, and well structured answer. And in this in this way, if you give the prompt clearly, properly, right? So, okay, there is a lower cost as well. It means the way you prompt is written, it's affect how much it costs to run the AI. So the shorter, more focused prompt can reduce the size of the response, which also helping you to save the cost money. And you can also include the expert knowledge in the prompt, like the, let's say for example, like a legal or like a medical info, so that AI give more relevant and accurate response in those area. So just now I gave the example where I mentioned in the second prompt that I mentioned the role that okay, I'm the security engineer, right? So that you will get more relevant and accurate response in those areas. And here the a well designed prompt can also help you to prevent the AI from giving some harmful, bias and inappropriate answers, especially important in field like healthcare and finance, right? Because nowadays we also have a habit that okay, if once we have a medical report, we upload it on the in this kind of the AI tools and we get we ask them to review and they will get the results. So sometimes, okay, because of you're not giving the proper prompt, it might get some incorrect answer as well. So you always need to use some smart prompt. So you can get the AI to do things which wasn't directly trained for. So like solving tough problem or some being some more creative. So by using this prompt wisely, you can make AI tool more helpful and suited for your exact needs. Now let's say imagine that you are building some chatbot for your legal advice website, right? So okay, let's say how exactly you can get the better result. So instead of asking what is contract, you write explain what legal contract is using simple language for a non-lawyer audience. So if you upload the document, if you just mention what is a prompt, you will get the lot of answer. It has a lot of jargons and some lawyer language. But instead of that, you mention explain what is legal contract is, but using simple language. I'm not the lawyer, right? So this get you the clear and more useful explanation. And you can also ask for the short summary instead of long explanation. So you can ask them, okay, boss, or okay, ChatGPT, give me a 3 sentence summary of what make the contract valid, reducing the cost as well. Or you can also include legal terms or rules in your prompt. So for example, you can mention that, okay, based on Indian Contract Act, explain what makes an agreement enforceable in a court. So this give you the answer to specific Indian laws only, right? So you can also add some safety instruction as well. For example, explain what the contract is, but do not give any personal legal advice or make any legal decisions. So this avoid misleading response as well, right? So you can guide the AI to act like a no, professionals. Okay, so you can also add in that prompt that okay, you are a legal assistant. Help me to draft a simple freelance contract for a graphic designer who is working with the client. Now here, this get you the practical usable output, right? So in this way, you can add the well-designed prompt here. So your prompt should not be single line or something. You can just, okay, added some more information here. So what exactly the best practice of prompting, right? So as I said that in this, just give me 1 minute. Let me have some water. Sorry about this. So folks, as I said, what exactly these best practices? Now you can see in this, okay, in this slide, it mentioned all best practices for effective prompting. So whenever you give a prompt, okay, to some pre-trained foundation model like in ChatGPT, so the quality of the output is depend heavily on how you ask. So whenever you are okay dealing with this, you need to be a very clear and clear. It means you don't be okay the I mean to say you just need to say exactly what exactly you want without unnecessary fluff. You can give the background information that help the model to understand the situation. Okay, for an example, audience type, domain, constraint, purpose, right? So if you just now I gave one example, I gave everything. So whenever say that okay, I'm the security engineer, okay, I want to block something, so it means what, I give that okay what exactly my audience is, what type, what exactly the domain, purpose, and you just need to be a very specific. It means you can tell the model what to do, explain, summarize, compare it, generate the code, etc. And you can also define the expected result, for example, length, the format, tone, or level as well. Right? So here the tone is also important. So in your prompt, you can also add that, okay, please give me some energetic reply, right? Or you can also mean that please, okay, be a farmer or more professional, right? That also you can add. So you can also show the example which help the model to mimic the style of structure that you want. And you can also use the tags or the, for an example, like hash, context, output, which help the organize the prompt and it also reduce the confusions, right? So you can say here this prompt, right? It goes into some pre-trained foundation models. Okay, prompt it means you goes into the which produce, and then you will get a better, more accurate outputs when the prompt follow these best practices. So better prompt don't make the model smarter, they make your instruction clear. Now here, to get the best response from the AI model, what happened, you usually need to try some different prompt and you can also improve them step by step. Why? Because this process is called the prompt engineering. It means writing your question or an instruction in the best way to get the result that you want from the AI. Right? So prompt engineering is especially important whenever you are working with the LLMs, that is a large language models like ChatGPT. And this model also give the better answer when your prompt are clear and well structured. So if you get a good at a prompt engineering, you can also guide the AI to do what exactly you need, whether that is writing a story, solving some hard problems, or some having some useful conversations. So think of prompt engineering as a skill that grow over the time. So the more you practice, the better result you will get, and you will also start to work with the AI more like a partner. Okay, so let's say on chat gpt, okay, you're okay, let's say you just type, okay, write about the climate changes. You just mentioned write about the climate changes. Now the AI might give you a very broad and or let's say some generic answer. So instead of write about climate changes, what exactly your prompt is, write a 500-word blog post on how climate change and affect the farmers in India with the example. Okay, please, okay, make it in a very simple English language. Now here, this get you the focus, detailed content, and which match with your goals. Okay, and you might need to tweak no, a few times as well, right? For an example, please make it formal. Okay, add some bullet points, okay, or some perspective. okay, until you get the exact result that you want, right? So what exactly I'm trying to say, that this prompt engineering is like working with the new teammates. At first, you might not explain the things perfectly, and they may not understand exactly what you want. But the more you work together, the better you understand how to give instruction in a way they understand best. And with the time, communication also becomes smooth and efficient. So here you can say that, okay, here there are some key aspect, okay, of the prompt, okay, prompting and prompt engineering. So now I'm going to explore the key elements of the effective prompt engineering, okay, and how to structure the prompt effectively, how to apply the prompting techniques to meet the need, and which type of security risk can be exploited through the prompt as well. So now for that, let's understand the structure a large language model prompts. So now folks, okay, before that, do you have any question folks? Till now, I just gave you some basic information till now. I hope you understand what exactly it is. If you have everything is clear, just type clear message on the chat, or you can just give me a thumbs up. Anyone folks? Okay. So folks, in case if you have a question, anything, please feel free to ask. So now folks here, now when I say, okay, the value of the prompt structure. So now a well-written prompt help the AI to understand exactly what you want to do. So whenever you give some clear instructions, the AI is less likely to get confused and more likely to give you the right kind of answer. So you can also adjust your prompt to get certain type of response. Now what exactly it means? Let's say if you want the AI to write the formal tone or sound like a friendly teacher, or even though you can also say that to the prompt as well. So using this clear and structured format for a prompt also help you when you are working in team, or let's say across your company. So if everyone use the same style of writing prompts, it is also easier to compare a result, make improvement, and move from testing ideas to using them in a real application. Now what exactly I'm trying to say that, let's say your company is building some chatbot for a customer support. So now the basic prompt is that, okay, answer the customer question that you mentioned to your, okay, LLM. So instead of that, you can instruct your chat, okay, that you can act as a polite customer support agent. Answer in 3 4 sentence and keep the tone friendly and professional, and don't use the technical terms unless it's required. Right? So you give this prompt to your chatbot. Now what happened? Now the chatbot understand, and this help the AI to reply a consistency style across all customer chats. And when other teams in your company build some similar bots or a tool, they can also reuse these structures, saving a time in, and you can also avoid the mistakes as well. So, or let's say, okay, this imagine you are for an example, if I give some other example, right? Let's say you go to the restaurant. Okay, now let's say chef is cooking dinner. So now let's say if you just go to the restaurant and you ask, okay, your chef that, okay, make something. Now the chef might make something, but if you know anything and it provide to you, but instead of that, you say that, hey cook, please cook a vegetarian dish that serve 4 people in very low spices and take less than 30 minutes, right? So now just like a good recipe which help a chef to deliver exact meal you want. So this is what prompt. So a good prompt help the AI to give the exact response that you required, right? And here now you can see some common elements which include the prompts. Now trying out the different prompt is also important part of figuring out what work best for your needs. But there are also some common parts or building blocks of a prompt that can also help you to get better results. Let's say if the organization or let's say if you organize your prompt using these part in a consistent way, it also become the easier to reuse them and manage your prompts writing more effectively. Now, some part of the prompt which also help the AI know what to do, while other help to adjust the response for your specific situation. So you can see these slides and activity that also follow go over these parts, okay, as well. So in this prompt element, okay, or the group on the slide, it just learning the memory. It is not a strict rules. So, folks, okay, let's say if you are creating some prompts for a different department in your company to use this AI tool. So, if the everyone use the same patterns like role, act as a travel agent, task, let's say find the top 5 vacation spot families, tone, use a friendly casual tone, and format, list the option in bullet point with the one-liner descriptions. So now you gave this information. Now your all team will consistent, they very highly quality outputs, and it's easy to edit, reuse the POM. So now folks, okay, what I'm going to do now here, I'm just giving you one small task. Now you can see, let me share the URL on the chat. Or in case if you have a mobile phone, you can scan. So folks, this is just one link. Let's open this URL. You can scroll to the course activity section and you can choose the name, the GAIF activities. Just scan the QR code or you can open the link, folks. Now I'm giving you one small task, right? So it's a 10-minute activity, everyone. Just go with the part one. Are you able to access, everyone? Can I have your reply, please? Is it accessible? Yes, no. Are you able to access this, everyone? Yes, no. Are you there? Can I have your reply, folks? You can see this activity which I created for you, right? This is the first one, if structure and effect prompt engineering. Just open this. The first one, you can see structure and effective prompt engineering. And now here, okay, you can see, you can type a prompt here. You can just go through it, what exactly it is. so that you will understand the real life info that how you can give the effective prompt. Just go through this, just read it. Like this, right? Write a blog post about the potential health impact on the planet. That's you need to sign in first. Everyone, I'll just give it 10 minutes for this. Please do it. It's very good. You will understand whatever I explained to you that is mentioned here. Just do it, folks. You will get a lot of things you'll understand, and this also help you for your activities as well. Last 6 minutes, folks. Last 5 minutes, folks. Please complete this and you will find your reply here. Last 2 minutes, folks. Please perform this. In case if you face any challenges, you can let me know. Okay, folks, thank you so much. I hope you complete the activity. If you haven't completed, you still have a day to complete these activities. Now I'll just give one example right here. Now you can see here, these are some recipe, right? You can see add everything, some 110 grams of sugars, 1/4 of cup of flours, 16 to 80 bs, butter, 1 baking sodas, etc. etc. If you just go through it, right? So if you see here, you can see the ingredients which list is obviously some missing, any kind of some formatting, right? Which help them to distinguish the items. It also use both weight, grams as well, some cups as well in measurement. It also use some different method to represent the same things, T or TBS, right? T, T it means, and TBS it means what? Tablespoon. And you can say one half as a both as in a fraction and some spell out as well. Now there are some steps which is not in logical flow. And also you can say it also creates some ambiguous guidance as well. Right? For an example, do you add the eggs and vanilla to the flour or sugar or the sugar? Now here you can see this context is also giving you after whenever you need. It means, for example, the recipe notes that butter should some let's say some unused or unsalted like this. Now folks, what exactly okay here I'm trying to say is that in our case it's also same thing is happen whenever you are giving the prompt. Now one helpful okay analogy for structuring prompts effectively is to think of the prompt as a recipe. This is your completely recipe. Whenever you are giving prompt to the chat GPT or your LLM model, it always your recipe here. And recipe often start by giving you a list of ingredients so that you are aware of everything that you require to make the recipe. And then the step for the recipe, which is given in a logical flow. And if the recipe is organized and labeled well, you can also follow the instruction correctly and efficiently. So whenever you are giving a prompt, always think that this is the recipe here. Right? I'm giving a recipe to my LLM prompt so that it cook something for me, which should be a tasty. So now what exactly the testing is or what exactly the technique? So remember folks, now for the purpose of learning about some different prompting techniques. Now this you can see this slide or here I just gave some common techniques into the categories. So now here, when I say that these are what? These are a proper categories. Now this prompting element describe, okay, I mean to say we already discussed it. Now remember folks, this prompting techniques are not typically applied as these strategies. You might need to combine a variety of these techniques depending on the use case. So generally speaking, you can also give the model example of what exactly you want. You can also the prescriptive vary about how the model perform a task. And you can also give the model guidance about how to approach a problem. And you can also use a technique to refine the output after the model initial response. So now here you might, okay, heard this zero shot, single shot and few shot prompting. So till now you gave the lot of prompts, but you might not aware whether I'm giving a zero shot, whether I'm giving a single shot, or whether I'm giving the few shots here. So now folks, here you can see whenever we talk about the zero shot. So now whenever you are using prompt engineering, zero shot prompting is a technique where user present a task to model without providing any specific example. Now this approach use the model existing knowledge and capabilities and without prior exposure to the specific request. Now, larger and more capable foundation model, okay, are more likely to produce effective result by using zero shot approach. So this zero shot approach is ideal for a general task or when you are working with some highly capable models. And few shot is also more suitable for a specialized or complex task that benefit from the specific example. You can see there is also a single shot as well, or we also say few shot prompting. And now this involves providing the large language model, okay, with some context in the form of example. These approach supplement the prompt with the example, effectively giving the model a very few demonstration to condition it for the requested task. And you might choose a single shot or a few shot depending on the complexity of the task. So to use this type of prompting, it is important to select examples that are representative of the desired task. So clear and the proper example that accurately demonstrate the desired behavior which are most effective. So you can see here each of the sample product headlines use the short, okay, a different playful phrases with some sort of rhymes. So these are okay, some okay, the prompting that is zero shot, single shot, few shots as well. And here these techniques, these different techniques are also used to be more directive about what model should do. You can think of it's like giving an actor specific stage direction to reduce the scope of their personal interpretations of what exactly they want. So rather than stage direction, okay, let's suppose, okay, for an example, let's say you are a woman and you're enjoying her breakfast. So direction is what? Okay, let's suppose you are a woman and you are just enjoying her breakfast. So how exactly we can direct to our AI? We can give that, okay, pick up the tea, okay, pick up the teacup and take one sip and smile. It means it's the same, right? So tool-based prompting also involves some instruction model to use some external tools or API, right? So you can add something. So based on some specific external links or based on the weather. For an example, now let's say you want to know about the what is a 5 day of the weather, right? So the weather, the date, okay, the data to the next 5 days. So now he just give these some simple information. But let's suppose you've mentioned that, okay, based on the abcweather.com or these are the API of my weather.com. So you let's say you have some API which communicate to their server and you gave to the prompt and say that based on this API, can you please let me know what exactly the next 5 day weather condition. So they communicate, API collect the data and it gives the prompt that these based on the API which you provide, these are the next 5 days, okay, weather here. Okay, folks, any question, folks? Okay, so that's it for me and folks. Okay, this is just in part one, but in upcoming part, I'll also give you about the information about chain of thoughts, tree of thoughts. I'll also give you some more interesting activities that you can perform. Okay, and then we'll also discuss about the some refined result. We are going to understand about the risk of the prompts. Okay, when exactly good prompts go bad. Okay, some common type of prompts, prompt injections example, leaking examples, okay, jailbreaking examples, social engineering examples, and this bedrock feature. Okay, so that I'm going to explain in upcoming webinar. Okay, do you have any question, folks? Any other question, folks? So that's the agenda for the next topic. Okay. Okay, then thank you so much for joining the session, folks. Okay, let's meet in the next webinar, which we are going to announce shortly as well. Thank you, everyone, and wish you a very happy weekend. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.